this video, we're going to be talking about the customer vault and recurring transactions. So to access the customer vault, there's an option on the left sidebar. If you click customer vault, you have the option to either add a customer or list a customer. In this case, we're going to add a customer just to go through the process. If you are signed up for both credit card and electronic check, you'll have the option. Otherwise, it'll default to a credit card. In this case, we're going to create a customer vault record. So I'm going to call this test 1. The billing ID is specifically for the payment because you're able to add multiple payments on a customer vault record. So we're going to call this card 1. We're going to use our test card number. Okay, we're going to use John Doe. Okay, we're going to input the information for the customer. And we're going to copy the shipping information, and we're going to hit submit. In this case, it's going to create the record. We'll get a splash screen that shows that the customer vault record has been added, and we have the ability to either go back to the record specifically that we just created, add another customer, or create a new record, or go back to the vault list, which is the list of all of our customers. In this case, we're going to go back to the vault list so we can see what it looks like. Now, it doesn't pre-populate the list. What we see is a search field. However, if you don't make any changes and you just hit submit, it'll give you all of your options. So now we can see on our customer vault records, we have the one we just created. Test 1 is the customer vault ID, and we have our customer here. Now, from here, we have a couple quick access things. So we can either click the name to view the customer vault record, or if you look at these icons, you'll see there's quick pop-ups. We have sale, we have authorize only, we have create a recurring subscription, or create an invoice. Now, invoice is only available if you have that feature added on the gateway. Now, the benefit of having a customer vault record is it's like a card on file, meaning that you have the ability to go in here and generate a sale. It pre-populates the card information. You can see that the card number is covered so that you only see the first 6 digits and the last 4. It's kept in a PCI secure environment, so you can pass the burden of having to keep a paper copy onto keeping it in the gateway. And then in order to complete the transaction, you would just make sure to enter the amount. If you need to, you'd add any order information, and just like any other transaction, you can send a receipt and then click charge, and it'll charge the customer for that amount. So let's add an amount. We're going to just put $1 in here. For description, we're just going to put test, and let's charge that transaction. So in this case, it's all the same information. Now, another thing that we can do from the customer vault record is we're going to go back to list customers. We're going to submit to search. We have our record, and we're going to create a subscription. Now, the thing that we want to talk about is how to create a subscription. And there are a couple of ways to do that. You can either do it from a previous transaction. So if we go to transaction report, we search for the transactions that we have. We have the $1 transaction that we ran. From the transaction detail, there's an option at the top to create a subscription. There's also an option to void or refund. But in this case, we're talking about creating a subscription. So in order to do that, you just click this Create Subscription button. In this case, it would pre-fill the card information. You would then have to just include the customer information and order information. Since we're creating it from a transaction, pretty much all of this data that was included in the original transaction will be carried over. Then we're going to continue. It then gives you the opportunity to input the plan details. Now in this case we want the amount to charge each time. In this case we're just going to keep our dollar. Now you have the option of selecting the frequency you want it to charge the customer. Now there's two ways that you can do that. You can either do it on a specific calendar day of each month, and that would be using this charge the customer on, and then you would select the date. So we're going to say the first of every 1 month. You also have the ability to set it up to a duration of 24 months. If you want to do anything less than a month, you would just do the number of days. So for example, if you want to charge weekly, you would put 7 days. If you wanted to charge bi-weekly, you would do every 14 days. You have the control over that. We're just going to keep it on the first day of every 1 month. For our example, in this case, we will charge the customer 3 times. And then we want to set our start date. When does this recurring transaction start? In this case, the first of next month is going to be January 1st because of when we're making this video. So we're going to put it the first of the next month. We can also save this plan. So if you are going to be using the same type of plan for multiple customers, you have the ability to save it. And you can save it both for just a plan name if you want to recreate it, or you can create a plan ID for use with API or Quick Click. In this case, we're not going to save the plan, but we're not going to save it for future use. We're just going to save the plan. So now we've created that recurring or installment transaction. And that example was doing it from a transaction receipt. However, we can also do it from just the recurring menu. We have the ability to add a subscription. We also have the option to add plans if you want to add multiple without adding a subscription. So if we go add subscription, it gives us the option to choose credit card, electronic check. We're going to go credit card. And then instead of it being pre-filled from the transaction, you would just enter the card information, customer information, order information, and when you click continue, it'll take you to the plan field, and it works pretty much the same. The other way that you can access to create it is from a customer vault record. So if we go to the customer vault, we're going to submit just to view all, open up John Doe, and we're going to click this tab for create a recurring subscription. In this case, we can see that everything's already filled. We would just need to fill out the order information, click continue, then you have the ability to create the plan. Once you've created a recurring subscription, you have the ability to go in and edit it. So in that case, we would need to go to list subscriptions. We can view the subscriptions that have been created. In this case, the list already pops up, but you can search it if you want to refine that list or find one in particular. In order to edit, you just click on the customer name, and it brings up the primary settings. You have the ability to update the card information, the order information. You can change the next charge date. You can edit the plan. You can edit pretty much any information that you need to on here. And it will continue based on the plan. So for example, if you need to add or subtract some from the amount, you would just change the amount for the next billing. You also have the option to delete or to create a new subscription from this information. And that's the basics of the customer vault and the recurring.